All right, folks, this is Minister Hot Rod Shoulders on the banks of the California Aqueduct. Ask me where, don't ask me. I know the street that I came in on was Manning Avenue, and it's taking Manning Avenue from Dickerson Avenue straight heading west, and you'll run right into the California Aqueduct, and then we made a left turn down a dirt road. And you'll be able to see in my video that I was following the red SUV again. And wherever the red SUV goes, many times you're going to find fish. One thing that my friend was using, I will show you the video, and the video is in the morning. You will hear sounds of bass jumping. This is the California Aqueduct. Those are striper bass, 3 to 5, 6 pounders, jumping out there in the water, similar to largemouth bass jumping in the lake. These were striper bass. They were chasing the Delta smelt. I did not have an understanding that here in the state of California, for years there was this fight behind the Delta smelt. And the fight was between the environmentalists and the farmers, because the farmers wanted to use the water. Environmentalists needed that water, to save the Delta smelt. I now have a clear understanding why it is so important to save those Delta smelt, because you're saving the striper bass. Without those Delta smelt, you would not hear and see the sounds and the sight of striper bass eating. They would not have very much to eat in 414 miles of this California Aqueduct. So for years I would hear this fight. I did not know what a Delta smelt looked like. Now I have a clear understanding. They're quite different than a shad and also a minnow. They have a nice look to themselves. They must be very tasty, because in the morning video it shows that the striper bass were going crazy. Okay, one thing is what my buddy was using is he was using the, the Alabama rig. I've never been a fan of this, but he was using the Alabama rig. The only difference is he purchased his at Walmart. His was not made of lead. It was made of a plastic material. So his was a lot lighter. Also, the lead weights that's holding the hooks, and then you will have your fluke. He was using the white color fluke. The brand is Zoom. It will say Salty Super Flux. The difference is, mine says Salty Super Flux White Pearl. The problem is, his white had the metallic flakes there. And this made a big difference in fishing this morning, because each cast he would throw, he practically caught a fish. I believe he lost 4 bass this morning, and at the end, being a product, where he purchased it from, it eventually broke, and when one of these pieces of wire broke, he lost a nice sized fish because it was attached to a hook. All right, but again, he was using the Alabama rig. I'm not a fan of this, where he's using the 3 hooks. He was using the Salty Super Flux. He said do not get the small size. He's using the Salty Super Flux with the metallic, where it has the sprinkles and it glitters as it's going through the water. And glitter is more or less what what you say the color is. And he's using the Alabama rig, where he has the 2. Also, my shiners here, I think, are quite large. His was very small. So as he would cast, he would start reeling in, and his would not sink very deep, and they would just hit it. Where mine is very heavy, light, lead nose, heavy blades, and also my heads were very heavy. Mine would sink down. Okay, this is Minister Anthony Williams Shoulders. Today is October 25th, 2014. I haven't caught any fish yet, but again, I told my buddy, he left earlier. It's only 10 o'clock. We did arrive around 6 o'clock. We started out at 4:30 this morning. We met at the gas station and then headed to this location. So we start out roughly around 6 o'clock, and he's already gone, I think, to another spot, or he's gone back home. The Minister Anthony William Schurlers, as you know, he's going to hang around. He's one to fight the bass for you. I decided to not have so much of a long drive trip this time, and more of giving you a sight of how beautiful it is to watch the rising sun, the sounds of the bass as they're feasting. Okay, this is Minister Anthony William Schurlers for the Minister Hot Rod Schurlers Fishing Show. Let's get back to fishing. As you can see, who I've been following again. Red SUV. This here's a master bass fisherman, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Got on the camera. See. Look at that bass. All right, what does it weigh out to?
That one's 2 pounds.
Is that legal?
I'll measure right now.
Because they have to be, what, 18? That sure is a fat one, huh? Sounds a striper bass in the morning. Look at the size of that bass. All right. Come around.
19 and a half.
19 and a half. Look at that, folks. Look at the size of that striper bass. Now, that's a master bass fisherman there. I may be the king of bass fishermen, but that's the master bass fisherman. Putting him on ice. Let me get back to fishing. All right. I'm going to go set up again. Here we go again. Bassmaster, state of California. Striper Bass Master. I tell you, look at that. Catching them.
Rod.
Listen, he's telling you how you catch it. Look at the size of that striper.
Let's see how big.
What size we talking about today? October 25th, 2014.
3 pounds.
3 pound. Look at that. That's legal weight.
About 22, 23.
Woo! I tell you, that's what he fishing with, folks. Right there. Using that Alabama rig. Had been working for me this morning, though. Look at that. Let's get back to fishing. As you can see, who I've been following again. Red SUV. This here's a master bass fisherman, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Got on the camera. See. Look at that bass. All right, what does it weigh out to?
That one's 2 pounds.
Is that legal?
I'll measure right now.
Because they have to be, what, 18? That sure is a fat one, huh? Sounds a striper bass in the morning. Look at the size of that bass. All right. Come around.
19 and a half.
19 and a half. Look at that, folks. Look at the size of that striper bass. Now, that's a master bass fisherman there. I may be the king of bass fishermen, but that's the master bass fisherman. Putting him on ice. Let me get back to fishing. All right. I'm going to go set up again. Here we go again. Bassmaster, state of California. Striper Bass Master. I tell you, look at that. Catching them.
Rod.
Listen, he's telling you how you catch it. Look at the size of that striper.
Let's see how big.
What size we talking about today? October 25th, 2014.
3 pounds.
3 pound. Look at that. That's legal weight.
About 22, 23.
Woo! I tell you, that's what he fishing with, folks. Right there. Using that Alabama rig. Had been working for me this morning, though. Look at that. Let's get back to fishing.